Productivity Awareness Week 2025. Navigating through disruption. Resilience, the engine of productivity.
Good morning to all of you. In Radio Land, we are not on television. It's a PTA. I think we are split now between Yadi and this show. Yadi is about to have the Minister Joachim Henry on, so I know some of you will be glued. He is there to respond to some of the things said by Mr. Guy Joseph, some of the outrageous and outlandish things said by Guy Joseph. Hopefully he'll join me afterwards, because there's a lot to discuss. Remember, this program is a program just to highlight the achievements of the government, some of the goodies that, and there are lots. The government of the Philip JP administration, we have done. I'm saying we. I consider myself part of the government as a citizen who votes. I vote yes, and I voted for the St. Lucia Labour Party and will be voting for the St. Lucia Labour Party, because they have put us first. This program, people first. And all how I look at things, all how I turn things around, excuse me, the government is putting us first. And there are many, 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 many things that we can point to and be proud of in education, in health. Yes, health care is not 100%. Nowhere in the world is it 100%. We don't expect perfection, but steps are being taken to ensure that quality healthcare is delivered. Agriculture, and you'll hear from the minister at some point when we begin to list the things done. Tourism. As I was coming down there, the cruise ship season is open, and there's a nice cruise ship in the harbor. I didn't get the name though, because I passed on the other side. I could have just seen it coming down the Entrepot Hill and coming down from, I had to take the back roads to get there because the traffic is very thick, very heavy. So I had to pass through Mondidor, Balata, through Carolee, and you could see the harbor and stuff. So the cruise ship season is taken off, and from all indications it's going to be a bumper cruise ship season. Even if you may have fewer ships, you have more people visiting. And so that is cause for us to rejoice. And I'm going to take the word of Cuthbert. DJ, we need to know about the yachties. We need to know about the yachties, because they contribute a lot of money to the economy. They contribute to the economy immensely, because with yachties, they stay longer. They spend a lot, they eat out. I mean, the contribution to the GDP is phenomenal, and we have to tap that, we have to get that. So, there's a lot to unpack. And today, I want to start off with the Deputy Prime Minister in the House, talking about some of the things that they have done, that is, the government has done, to ensure that our lives are a little better. So I'll ask my technician this morning to just run video one.
But the point is, Mr. Speaker, we are trying to find ways to make the lives of St. Lucians much better. And Mr. Speaker, I take pride in giving you my top 10 initiatives, Mr. Speaker, to make the lives of St. Lucians better by reducing the cost of living for them. The cost of living for them. I will give you my top 10, and I want to lead out the opposition to listen. Listen, Mr. Speaker. Number 1, Mr. Speaker, the removal of 6.5% service charge on goods, Mr. Speaker. Number 1. Number 2, the removal of VAT on 70 selected items. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, an increase in annual personal tax allowance from 18,000 to 24,000, Mr. Speaker. Number 4, an increase in the allowable expenses from 30,000 to 40,000. Number 5, the one that we are doing today, the removal of VAT on feminine sanitary napkins. We're extending it. We had done it before. Number 6, Mr. Speaker, all pensions are now tax-free. Number 7, December 2024, our first ever $500 Christmas bonus. And Mr. Prime Minister, I hope you give us the bonus again this Christmas, Mr. Speaker. We didn't get it. Well, I mean, you know. Number 8, Mr. Speaker, October 2022, $500 cash payment to every pensioner. Number 9, November 2023, $600 cash payment to pensioners, again another cash payment. Number 10, Mr. Speaker, August 2024, the government pensions increase as well as the NIC pensions increase. And I must put a number 11, a bonus, Mr. Speaker. I said top 10, but I have a bonus one, the minimum wage enacted, Mr. Speaker. So I've given you on your opposition side. You can mash up what you want. These points I give, these actions have brought benefit to the people of St. Lucia. You can mash up what you want. The only thing you can mash up is the destruction that you all caused during COVID, Mr. Speaker. This economy ended up the worst economy in the Caribbean and one of the worst in the world. That's what you all mash up. You all mash up St. Lucia. But the point is, Mr. Speaker, we are trying to find ways to make the lives of St. Lucians much better. And Mr. Speaker, I take pride in giving you my top 10 initiatives, Mr. Speaker, to make the lives of St. Lucians better by reducing the cost of living for them. The cost of living for them. I will give you my top 10, and I want to lead out the opposition to listen. Listen, Mr. Speaker. Number 1, Mr. Speaker, the removal of 6.5% service charge on goods, Mr. Speaker. Number 1. Number 2, the removal of VAT on 70 selected items. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, an increase in annual personal tax allowance from 18,000 to 24,000, Mr. Speaker. Number 4, an increase in the allowable expenses from 30,000 to 40,000. Number 5, the one that we are doing today, the removal of VAT on feminine sanitary napkins. We're extending it. We had done it before. Number 6, Mr. Speaker, all pensions are now tax-free. Number 7, December 2024, our first ever $500 Christmas bonus. And Mr. Prime Minister, I hope you give us the bonus again this Christmas, Mr. Speaker. We didn't get it. Well, I mean, you know. Number 8, Mr. Speaker, October 2022, $500 cash payment to every pensioner. Number 9, November 2023, $600 cash payment to pensioners, again another cash payment. Number 10, Mr. Speaker, August 2024, the government pensions increase as well as the NIC pensions increase. And I must put a number 11, a bonus, Mr. Speaker. I said top 10, but I have a bonus one, the minimum wage enacted, Mr. Speaker. So I've given you on your opposition side. You can mash up what you want. These points I give, these actions have brought benefit to the people of St. Lucia. You can mash up what you want. The only thing you can mash up is the destruction that you all caused during COVID, Mr. Speaker. This economy ended up the worst economy in the Caribbean and one of the worst in the world. That's what you all mash up. You all mash up St. Lucia.
There you have it from the Deputy Prime Minister. Say what you want. Making your lives better. Actions to make your lives better. Policies and initiatives to make your lives better. People are saying the government is doing nothing. The government has done nothing. Lies upon lies upon lies. We know of the destruction of the last administration. But our Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Joseph Pierre, he has in every respect done things to ensure that you, the citizen, not the St. Lucia Labour Party supporter, we don't discriminate, we don't espouse the Belrose doctrine, we don't victimize. Every action is geared towards ensuring that the lives of St. Lucians, the citizens, the lives of the citizens are better. So we will not call you aside and say, well, only children of supporters of the Labour Party will get laptops. No, all laptops. When the 6% service charge on grocery items was removed, it was not removed for one set of people, it was removed across the board. Because it's not only Labour Party supporters that, that shop. Everybody shops. Pensions, when the minimum pension wage, when the minimum pension rose from free something for government pensioners to $7.25, it was not for Labour Party supporters or Labour Party pensioners. It was for everybody. When NIC increased the minimum pension from $235, I think it was, to $500, it was across the board. It was not done for some. When the bonus is given for civil servants in December, and I don't know how much it is, I wish I was a civil servant still, it will not be for who supports the Red Party. It is going to be for everybody. Pensioners, I think, will be getting a $600 one-off payment in November. That's sometime next month. It is across the board. So when the Deputy Prime Minister speaks, and he gives just top 10 there, we have countless more initiatives you could point to, which has benefited the people, all of us. But he gave his top 10. I may have my top 10. The minimum wage. Some of you have wives, girlfriends, boyfriends. Some of you work in you're a gas station attendant, you work at SNS and other establishments. Your salary or your wage went from $400, $500, $600 to almost $1,200. That was done for everyone across the board. Of course, there was pushback, but it didn't hurt the economy, did it? As a matter of fact, the economy grew, unemployment went down, and you have those who benefited from that adjustment in the minimum wage. Well, it was not an adjustment because we never had a minimum wage before, but the implementation of that minimum wage brought relief, some dignity to a lot of people, especially single mothers, because single mothers are the ones you find working those kinds of jobs. The gas service attendants at these little establishments and stuff. They benefited immensely, and so their lives were improved in an instant. So, when people say, so much has happened, and we have a lot to be grateful for. So when the other side makes noise and says, nothing has happened, that's not true. A lot has happened. And as far as I'm concerned, just the implementation of that minimum wage is enough for you to say thank you and let's go to the polls and ensure that the St. Lucia Labour Party remains in power, because we want continued progress. Look at the caregivers. My God, my God. You know what it is to have a job, you're on contract, and for 1 month, you cannot get paid, because if you get paid for 12 months, that means you have continuous work. So after 11 months, your contract ends, you have to wait a whole month. You cannot get paid. You know how that is? How that feels? The bills do not stop, in the 12th month. You still have to pay the bills, but you have no income, no source of income coming in. There's no income coming in. No source of funding coming in. But you still have to pay the bills. Bills must be paid. You're a temporary worker. You're on contract. I mean, that's not life with dignity. But you know, the philosophy of the St. Lucia Labour Party is bread, freedom, justice. There was no justice in that. You have worked for 12 years on contract, 11 months on the 12th month you will not be paid. And every year like that, that was no life with dignity. And to add insult to injury, you know, at one point, you know, the government changed hands and one idiot from the other party says he's going to disband that. That program is not necessary because 90% of the workers there are SLP, and that was disbanded. But a caring Prime Minister, in the Prime Minister of Honorable Philip J. Pierre and his cabinet, figured no. We cannot have our people working under that kind of stress, because that's stressful. You know, you cannot face the financial institution, you can't get a mortgage, you can't get a loan. You know, if you go and take some, you know, you go to one of the higher purchase institutions, boy, they're reluctant because, you know, they're money in fire, and people don't want to lend you money if they're not sure how they're going to be repaid, you know. And so that is a problem. That was a problem. That was not life with dignity. But Philip J. Pierre ensured that we could not have our people working in a situation like that, and that was regularized. So when somebody out of the, you know, the abundance of joy said what they said, never, 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 I could understand where they're coming from. Because when you do not have job security, because no job security, that cannot be life with, you know, with dignity. You every year is the same thing. And the same thing with teachers. I know what it is as a former principal, that every year comes August, you're not getting paid. You're not getting paid, and some of them have to take part-time jobs trying to make ends meet because the bills do not stop. So that has been rectified. That is a big deal when people want to tell you that nothing has been done. That is a big deal. Very big deal. So we are thankful and we are forever going to be grateful. So a lot has happened. I have come with more stuff. We can just let them go one by one. I will read some of the other achievements. I know, well, this is a radio show, so I shall read to you some of the things. My technician will put them on. Our record, citizenship, security. First of all, let me just address Kakal and some of the nonsense I've heard about. I mean, in 5 years, well, the opposition, well, they are in opposition now. But when the Alan Shastny administration was in power, they went into year 6. That's the longest. Anyway, let's leave that alone. Balls were being held, you know. And I have explained why. To equip the police, use TVs, use microwaves, bulletproof vests, Kakal talking about the nonsense he's talking about. They only spent $360,000 in 5 years. And you know what the situation was? Police had to be sharing bulletproof vests. That was unhygienic. You know, a man comes from the, you know, he's on the field, etc. He comes back sweaty and everything. Next man has to go. He takes, you know, he has to take that same vest, put on him, go up. Totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. All right? Totally unacceptable. And so, the Prime Minister in his wisdom realized, no. With everything that he's doing for the police force. You know, there are some fellas like Irwin Springer who wants him to take a gun and go on the street. Ridiculous. Anyway, he has invested over let me just get my figure right there so that I don't lead you astray. $3.1 million in less than 4 years, less than 5 years, to equip every police officer with a bulletproof vest. I mean, that in its... Listen, policemen put their lives on the line for us every day. They go out to face the bad guys. And when they leave home and they kiss their wives and their husbands, etc., and say, bye, have a good day, sometimes those in the house not sure if they're coming back. Because you know these criminals now, they have high-powered weapons and stuff. They're aided and abetted by customs officers, people in the post office, and even the police themselves. You know, the corruption is high. And so when you think people should be guarding us, we have to be on a P's and Q's. So they go out there every day putting their lives on the line, and we need to protect them. So every police officer will have a bulletproof vest. $3.1 million has been spent so far to ensure that our police officers are well protected. That's an achievement. And I have to say bravo to the Prime Minister, because we do need the police. Yes, there are a few miserable ones. Yeah, every profession has jokers and people who don't put the weight, those who are corrupt in the system. But by and large, we have a wonderful police force. And so we must protect them because they protect us. They are our first line of defense, you know. And so $3.1 million has been spent to date to ensure that police officers. Of course, there's a hold up in supply, but that's all right. That's neither here nor there. That will be sorted out. So when you hear fellas like Kaka, a mischievous guy, talking nonsense, you have to dismiss that in toto. All right? Because no truth to that. So, what else have they done? $26 million to upgrade the program for the St. Lucia Fire Service. And you heard the fire chief saying, never in the history has so much been invested in the fire service. Kudos. We can do that now because our debt to GDP ratio is nearing prudential limits. On the other side, the debt to GDP ratio was 101%. Tell me a lie, you know. Hambun, Tsunami, tell me a lie. We heard the minister, the junior minister of finance, Wayne Girard, he made it clear. It was not 95% as we thought, because when you added all the contingency liabilities, it went up to 101%. That is why the Shasti administration could not spend money to give the police what they wanted. They talk about the K9 unit, $40,000 a month. You know that was not being paid. My producer told me I can hit them, so I'll hit them. That was not being paid. All the gouache. I understood when the Labour Party, when we came in there, we found a bill for almost $300 and something thousand because this guy could not pay his debts. He could not honor his obligations. So when you talk about the K9 unit and this and that, 40,000, well, that was exorbitant from everybody else. Customs officers, policemen, everything. Could not honor his debt. Because this fellow doesn't like to pay. We had to pay it. We had to pay it. And a man like Philip J. he pays his debts. He's a Christian. Unlike this guy, 12. He paid our debts. We pay our debts. And we honored it. So we did that. We could put up another one. Tactical training for members of the police force. I mean, I am praying for the day when the lay law will be lifted. And we'll be given the training that... But the Prime Minister is investing in that, ensuring that our police have the training to do the work that they ought to do. Fire officers to receive NIC pensions after 20 years of service or when they reach the age of 55. They can qualify for the NIC pension after 20 years of service or when they attain the age of 55. Very good. 10 new ambulances, 7 new fire trucks, 2 aerodromes, free specifically designed vehicles to respond to motor vehicular accidents. Investing in our safety. when people like Hambone tell you about we spend $38 million on 2 trucks. Liar! Hambone, them better than that. We're investing in our security. And I understand Kokoloram. Anyway, let me leave that for this afternoon. 52 fire service personnel. We have recruited 52 new. And there's always recruitment. Because people retire, people resign, people move on. And you have to replenish. You understand? When new vehicles were given to the police force, what did the president of the Police Welfare Association say? Oh, replacement. I mean, this guy, these politicians masquerading as police officers are something else, you know. But you must replace the old and thing and then give new ones. So as far as you're concerned, if you replace, you have done nothing. When you have a politician masquerading as a police officer, that's what you get. That's what you get. Recruited 58 beach rangers and 62 special police constables. Yes, and they've been paid. 58 beach rangers and 62 special police employment, and also helping in security. Implementation of a stipulated gender policy, because you know everybody's accused of everything, sexual harassment and all kind of thing. So, taking that in mind, we have done that. A gender policy. Go put on the next one. Let me wait for the next slide there so I can read off the screen. Here we talk about the bulletproof vest for every police officer. You could go to the next one. Training in crime detection, surveillance, and other modern crime fighting techniques. And we're really wielding success, you know. You notice how Sergeant Matthew and his team, the intelligence, they're civilian. And when they go out on a raid, it's usually very successful. And we're bringing in the big fish, you know. The corruption at customs. Yeah, I have to say that, you know. I mean, not all customs officers are corrupt, but there are some that are mischievous and some, you know, they want to live a life. Man, live within your means, man. I know you want a champagne lifestyle, but you can't have a champagne lifestyle on Moby money. Oh, I have the minister. I have the minister of my word, what a pleasant surprise. Now, my technician is watching me there, and he's going to say, but my time is almost up. But we have 2 minutes, Minister. Let me just get a chair for you there. You can pull a chair there. It's always nice when you have, you know, I'll have to pay my technician some overtime there. Mr. Producer, Minister Joachim Henry is with me there, just briefly.
Yes.
We're just talking about the goodies of the government. You need to come in the frame.
Yes.
Yeah, some goodies of the prime of the government, the minimum wage and stuff. I know you bursting with information because this program is specifically designed to just highlight the achievements and the goodies that we have delivered to the people. So maybe you could, just off your head, you know, talk about one or two things.
Yes. The amount of goodies that the Prime Minister has delivered, the cabinet, if which when we try to enumerate them and speak to them, we even forget.
Yes.
There's so many.
Right.
Because we started on day one.
Right.
And everything the Prime Minister has done has been very impactful.
Yes.
And emotionally connecting. From paying the layer people. You understand? And the majestic workers. That issue was there for some time. And he settled it. He then moved on to deal with the issues of minimum wage.
Yes.
A vexing issue.
Yes.
The Prime Minister established a minimum wage. You understand? And he stayed with the theme of the Labour Party by ensuring that workers throughout he paid attention, paying bonuses.
Right.
Unprecedented.
Yes.
And he promised to do it again in December.
Right.
Right? But one of the most emotional and really connecting initiative and action of the Prime Minister was what we did recently with the 600 workers. And for most of us who all our life has worked normal, have had normal jobs, I do not think we understand what it is to work and you have 1 month without pay.
Yes.
You understand? Because the system that we live in do not operate for 1 month.
Yes.
To take off a month in a year.
Right.
Wasco still send their bills. Lucilec send their bills.
Right.
You understand? And if you have a loan, it's still on.
Yes.
But these people for years had to stay away from work for 1 month without pay because they wanted to keep them as temporary workers, and continuous employment would cause them to be permanent employment. So to artificially move away from having them permanent, you give them 1 month without pay.
Right.
You're out of a job and you start back again.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister corrected that, and even temporary workers, about approximately 2,000 persons again. So pretty close to about 3,000 persons who were in the system, not able to go to the bank and take a loan, not able to even, if you get a letter from your employer that highlighted that courts would not allow you to have anything on hire purchase. You understand? That has been cured. He fixed it. You understand?
Yes.
And for me, personally, I think each person who benefited individually, count it.
Yes.
Because it's not just the group, it's individuals.
Yes.
He has impacted over 3,000 people.
Yes, yes.
And when you take each person in their home, that is 3,000 multiplied by 3.2 based on a household.
Yes, yes.
You understand?
Yes, yes, yes.
This is almost like 10,000 people
yes.
impacted. You understand?
Yes.
And these initiatives and more that the Prime Minister has done, will continue to inspire hope in people.
Yes, yes.
Because there was a time when you had the COVID, you had the inflation, and then you're asking, is how will this thing affect my family? You understand? What is going to happen to me? The Prime Minister is saying that there's a government who cares. And here what I'm going to do. I will fix up wages. I will improve your working conditions. I will arrange for you to pay less when you go send your child to school by not paying for certain services.
Yes.
You understand? Yeah. So I remove the facility fees.
Yes.
I will ensure that I make provision that any child in a family that has not had somebody going to university will be able to go to university.
That's right.
You understand? The public assistance, I will increase it. You understand? I will strengthen the caring for persons who are at home, and even consider giving them support on weekends because they might be lonely on weekends. The Prime Minister, in a difficult time, has come and made it a lot pleasant, a lot beautiful. That has inspired hope in young people. And I'm not talking about yet the thing that we have the youth economy, and then you see so many artists. And boy, for this election period, I've never seen songs produced. I think we'll produce more songs in election than Calypso season. Songs rolling out. But the energies of our young people and the crowds that continue to turn up at the Labour Party activities, it is not a strange occurrence. It is the celebration of people by what the government has done.
Yes.
They are celebrating. Both UWPs and SLPs are thankful for Philip J. Pierre as Prime Minister and what he has done. That is unprecedented.
Wow. And we can stay all day. Well, no, we have to leave in a while. But we can enumerate and quantify. I mean, and I understand we have a paper coming out listing.
Yes.
And I understand that is a lot. That's a whole booklet,
That's a booklet. And one of the things that I think St. Lucians may not see the Prime Minister in action when he does it. They hear the pronouncements.
Yes.
But this is how I experienced the Prime Minister. Joachim Henry sitting in cabinet, let's say, and I'm trying to be as accurate as I can without violating. I say to PM, you know, they have some people over there, and government owe them for so many years. You know, Prime Minister's response would say, who are they? How much would it take to cure that problem?
Yeah.
That's how he responds.
Yes.
He asks who they are they? They are St. Lucians, they are people, they are senior people, how much would it take? He is interested in knowing the solution.
That's right.
Recommend a solution, and he take it from there, will process it, debate it, and see how it is.
He's not like your opponent who decided that people like Frank Charles who worked and did things, and he ensured that Frank Charles and other small contractors never got paid for his 6 years while he was there. Heartless, unchristian, uncharitable, that kind of a thing.
I recall somebody called me after elections and said to me, Joachim, quand nous just get election, you know, si bako a flobola ka travail ka sa ki manye sa. And I had to tell him, guys, me tout bako a même couleur, pas jaune yo. Moi pas connaître bako flobo bako. So I tell him that Philip is of that mindset. You understand? He would dismiss this thing.
Yes.
You understand?
Because we are all citizens. We must
are all
eat.
citizens, and we are one St. Lucia.
The Belrose doctrine has no place in our political landscape.
But thank God we got to know that there is a Belrose doctrine.
Yes.
You understand? So St. Lucians, in making that decision, must understand that these people believe that if they win the election and your constituency did not vote with them and stay with Labour, you will perish.
Smoke your pipe.
You will perish. You will not eat. In fact, they also believe that if you don't eat, you will not necessarily die. So you would have to endure hunger. That's how they think.
That's how, if you start to cry, you just
start crying yet.
Yeah, that kind
of thinking.
Unchristian.
That is
uncharitable.
Uncharitable. It's not heartless. Consistent with our ethos and our culture.
That's right.
You understand?
Bread, freedom, justice. That's
where we stand. So, I mean, St. Lucians, we all know it, we feel it, and the call is for all St. Lucians. UWP, SLP, Green P, Orange P, whatever party or side you belong, this is a time that is being called for all of us St. Lucians to rally with Honorable Philip J. Pierre. Rally with Team Labour. With Team Labour, there's a safe harbor. With Team Labour, there's hope. With Team Labour, we will always put you first. No fake about this. With Team Labour, we will have our struggles, but we will overcome just like we did with Philip J. Pierre in the past few months. So I think we are in a good place, and I would just make that call. Do not get sidetracked. Do not let the other side confuse you or any other side that's coming on. Their motive is not in keeping with the development thrust of this country or proper representation or love of the people. There are other selfish motives on. There are a lot of other things coming on around this time. But I tell people in Castries office to vote, support Lisa Joyer. I'm asking all of the 17 constituencies to support Philip J. Pierre and to vote for the Labour Party candidates and the independent candidates that stand in with us, Richard Frederick, with Stevenson King. Stand with them, you stand with us, and I'm sure that the future of our country, if you have seen what has been done, wait in the future, you will see a lot more. And you would always look back and say, thank God that day I choose to vote and stand with Labour.
That's a way to end. Thanks for the little impromptu visit, Minister.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. This has been People First for today. My technician, I'll have to buy you lunch for your overtime. All right, so people, again, see you this afternoon on Real Issues with Shelton Daniel.
Yes, sir.
And on Thursday morning again at 9 o'clock, I hope I have another impromptu visitor, liven up the program. So we went a little 5 minutes over time, but it was worth it. So thank you again and see you on Thursday morning at 9.